Welcome to another great episode of Grow Through Positivity. Today I'm excited to have Chaim Desser on. Chaim, please take a minute to introduce yourself to my audience and tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, Ellie, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's nice to meet you virtually. I met you, I think, by one of the shows, maybe by Zemeze. You were at the Zemeze. I didn't. I was giving a speech over there. It's not a speech. I was narrating one of the panels, so I didn't have too much time to go over to everyone and introduce myself. But it's nice meeting you now. And thanks for giving me the opportunity. So, who I am. First of all, yeah, my name is Chaim Desser. You say it right. Some people say Chaim, but obviously you know how to do it. I started the recruiting business. I have my company is called Poel Group. Poel Group Staffing is the legal name. We do executive recruiting. It's not like an employment agency. People always mix up employment agencies with recruiting. It's different, and mainly we focus on top tier placements, top tier candidates, hard to find candidates. Companies reach out to us when they need, you know, to place either management or C-level candidates. We do the search for them. We'll do anything and everything in order to get them the right person. When I say everything and anything, no, I'm not gonna pouch. I'm not gonna hunt from another company. And we watch what we do. We try to do it honestly, and that's basically what we do.
So tell me a little bit. You mentioned that, and I'm going to ask you to go back and say that word again because what was the difference between recruiting and a job placement, or when you identified your niche?
So, in short, when COVID hit, there were many companies looking for employees. A lot of I would say, the old timers, they got used to working from home and or not working at all. Government gave out a lot of handouts, and they stopped working. And some people, it was a time when employees were looking out for themselves. Everybody was looking out for themselves. So it was very hard to find good employees when companies came back and economy opened up. They tried setting up with the company. Some people had to start almost from scratch and hire new teams. So it was hard to find good talent. At that point, whenever there is a need, companies open up. So a lot of recruiting companies opened at that time. But instead of doing the, like hardcore searching for talent and hunting for talent, they acted like employment agencies, but they charge full recruiting fees. It was basically pushing down into someone's inbox a bunch of resumes, and if one of the resumes got picked and the candidate was hired, they sent an invoice, $10,000, $15,000. But I knew right away that this is only a phase. This is going to phase out. Companies are not stupid, and when things will wind down, they'll come back and use again regular recruiting. So I was always busy, even during COVID, and I did not change my model. When companies used to call me, send me a 40, 50K employee, I don't need anything specifically. I just need, I need help. I used to tell them, Sadi, this is not what I do. Um, if you need someone with special talent, if you need someone with X amount of years of experience, this is what I do, and people know me for that. And that's the reason why I have repeat clients. So I'm not an employment agency. I am, let's say, if a company runs on a certain program, and they a certain software, and they do, in-house programming, and they're looking for a programmer who writes a certain code, or they're looking for a controller, looking for a CPA in-house accountant, or they're looking for an experienced manager who knows how to manage an office of 20 people, or a warehouse of 40 people, or a company of 500 people. And therefore, because I stick to it and I did not change my model, during COVID and after COVID, my company, thank God, grew. And I believe very much in that model. Don't
So
change.
I want to ask you on that. Where do you think you learned that discipline to stick to your niche and your core focus?
Okay,
Where was it in your career?
so let's go back a little bit. The reason why I am a recruiter happens to be that I have experience in both sides of the aisle. When it comes to being an employee, many jobs I had. I worked in, you name it, from ground up. At one point, I was a salesman as well. So I did sales. I did blue collar work. I did uh, service companies, product based companies. So I actually have experience when it comes to understanding the employee. So when someone is seeking for a job and they come to me either for a consultation, or sending me in the resume, and I that's also one of the things, I never send out a candidate unless I have met with them either virtually or face to face, or a phone screening where I have a good read of a candidate. And in terms of being in business, I had a few businesses. I wasn't a product-based business. I wasn't a service business. I was also a non-for-profit. And during the years of my experience, what I would say, being a business owner, I learned very fast that if you don't have a plan, and if you can't stick to a plan, then you'll be all over the place and it's not going to work. And I try to work with that model and to apply that in my business as well.
Beautiful. So I want to jump to another topic of yours, if I could, because what the world says, for the good, for the bad, for the great, for the ugly, for whatever it is, the employment retention complication, or what companies are hurting with right now. And then on the other hand, finding great people, just finding good people, how hard it is out there. So I don't want to go into the debate if it is or if it isn't, but what is it that you could share with the audience first from a employee's side that's out looking for his next best job?
So,
Where is it? Yeah. Give us one or two tips.
so obviously, everything went up. If you live in the West Coast, or if you live in the East Coast, everything went up. There are certain places where the cost of living is a little bit cheaper. So obviously, over there, the salaries will be lower as well. But push comes to shove, you have to make a certain amount of money in order to be able to sustain and feed your family. Therefore, when someone in our community, they come out from kollel, they come out from yeshiva, or even after college, we need a certain amount to be able to cover when it comes to rent expenses, all living expenses. Therefore, we can't wait 10 years. I'm talking about a candidate now. Candidates feel that they can't wait 10 years until they'll become a doctor, or other profession that will earn you a couple $100,000 a year. So therefore, they are on the hunt, and they're looking to find something that will have longevity for them, and something that they can grow with. And both sides are searching. It's not like, if you a candidate that goes into work, and by the end of the day they can't cover their monthly expenses, they feel like, it's a waste of time. What am I doing here? So if someone knows something and they have experience, and they have, I would say, any experience behind their belt, they know that they are a commodity, and therefore, they're not going to settle for just any job. That makes it hard for an employer to find the right talent. Again, I am talking about experienced people, because that's the people that I'm working with. So when it comes to someone who has experience, he knows his talent, he knows his experience. He reaches out to a recruiter to find them the best job, something that will have longevity, because he doesn't want to job jump. He knows it's not good for his resume. So he's looking for a place where he can grow. So, both sides, it's this is we have to be the matchmakers here. He is looking for the best job, and the employer is looking for, the most talented candidate out there. Why not? If you have to pay, if I'm paying already, let me have the best.
Correct. Excellent. Here we are coming up to the end of this episode. I have one quick question for a employer. What is a good book that you found helpful that you have read in your past, in your career?
I always go back to, How to Make Friends and Influence People from Dale Carnegie. Mm-hmm. I feel that we are, in my business, you have to be a good communicator. But I feel everything boils down to communication. Of course, there's chemistry. We call it Chaim. But, even with chemistry, if you're a good communicator, that's a very, very good thing for both of us, both for the employer. I'm an employer myself. I have a team here. I hire people. I fire people. So I understand that communication is the key. And therefore, I feel that this was a very helpful book for me.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on. For those that would like to be a guest, feel free to reach out to me right here on LinkedIn. Send me a direct message. To reach out to Chaim, feel free to reach out as well right here on LinkedIn. And Chaim, in 30 seconds or less, share your website or your email address.
My website is www.poelgroup.com. That's POELGROUP. And you can reach us and send us a resume at info@poelgroup.com.
Excellent. Chaim, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you too. Kol tov. Take care.